Hey.
I love that.
Welcome to #Flint. I'm Shayne Hodges. This is Tim Gilbert, and this is Leroy Jackson, and we're coming to you live from the east side of Flint. Thanks for joining us, and today we want to talk about a few things that have been happening in the city as far as with the water issues and some of the things that are going on with that. And we also want to talk about coming together as a community to involve change and start utilizing resources and things that are available for us to prosper, and because our main goal here is to educate and empower people to make a change in their life, whatever situation you have. So today, Leroy, I understand you want to talk about a couple things, and let's talk about coming together over this water and do a couple things. We were at the press conference. First of all, the big issue we're talking about is adding phosphate to the water system. Now, what they're talking about is adding it to the water that we get from Detroit through the Flint system, through the water plant, and it's going to come into the homes through the infrastructure. What it is adding the amount they have now is what they call maintenance from Detroit. It's 1.5, I believe it's milligrams of phosphate. Now, the city of Flint's going to bump it up to 2.5. So there's going to be an increase, and that's called scale. So it's going to form the biofilm. What it does is it's salt that encourages the blooms and all the algae to grow, which is the biofilm, because there's algae, and then the water flows through the pipes, and the water don't touch the pipes. So that's intended to speed up that process and cure the pipes. So what they're doing is they're adding the controls to the Flint River water to see if they can stabilize that water. And then they want to use it again, because the night before there was a meeting in the city council about finance that they were going to need 3 extra months of KWA. KWA gets here in June. That's when our water bills pay with Detroit. KWA gets here in June, and then they're going to need 3 extra months, was what was proposed at the meeting due to whatever reasons of the build and the project speed. So there's things going on with the water. The water, first of all, is not safe to drink unfiltered. There's filters that they give you filters, or they give you the water pitcher. Just use what you have to. Don't drink it. If you have small children and pets, don't give it to them. You have to go to bottled or filtered water, at least filtered. If you can't afford bottled water, and some people, one of the issues that I hear a lot is some people can't carry a case of water around, and there's things like that. So if you have a filter, use it. And if you need one, you can go to City Hall and get one at the front desk. The lady's name is Wendy, and she will be glad to give you a water filter, because and cartridges. Because going down there, and that's the thing. If you have a water bill, pay attention to your bill. Take a picture of your meter, and make sure you keep track of all your water usage if you want an accurate bill, because the bills are being estimated. And that leads us into the segment about Val Washington and what happened in the courtroom this week. Was there anything that happened to, because I remember the part that I stepped in was when they said they did lower their water rates, but it's 22% only.
I don't know about the 22% as in lowering it, because one of the bills that
that's
they
how
showed,
much
they said
reflected.
129, and the other bill said 120. Now there's more than likely 22% left over that they have to reduce it.
Right. From my understanding they had only reduced it 22%, not 35 like they were supposed to. Remember, they said, what's the numbers? And he said, I did the math in my head, and it is around 22%.
We do got to get that right, because I mean, is it 22% left, or is it 22% in?
They took it off, but they were supposed to take 35, and they have to take 35 off all the bills. Yeah. So there's all this money that's in play with the shutoffs coming. That was a very big issue. People getting shut off. If you're getting shut off, call 211. They have programs down at City Hall about keep the water flowing, so you can ask for help on that. You may qualify or find something, but your water is very important, especially if you have children, because they're the most susceptible to lead poisoning and lead damage, because they're not developed. They
they also notified us and told us that if it got cloudy, for us to really notify or notice that it is cloudy. Don't go drinking just anything. At least they let us know this, because I remember one time when we run our waters, when we turn the water on, all we get is rust, and some people still getting rust.
Yes, some people are, so that's what's coming. That was one of the kickbacks to adding phosphate to the water system. It's for corrosion control, according to the city. These are the documents that they handed out at the press conference. But it also is going to be another chemical in the water flowing through the old infrastructure. That is the key. Why aren't we talking about fixing our infrastructure? That's the only thing. Because to me, whatever they're trying to correct the Flint River water, first of all. That's what the phosphates are in, the Flint River water. The KWA project is not complete, and when they do ship water in, they're only going to be using bleach on the intake. So it's going to run 64 miles just through some pipes with nothing on it. The pipes they're making now at that factory at Old Buick City, those are the pipes. So there's different situations, and the EPA and this city is under heavy scrutiny to get it right. And that's a part of, the city government and engineering and all these processes that in 1991 they ordered cities to start fixing their infrastructures. They realized, the federal government realized there's going to be a problem and said start fixing your infrastructures. Send little grants and money towards fixing your city's pipes. Now a city like Flint, former industrial city, is suffering because they have a old and industrial system. It was designed for 200,000 people, and only 100,000 people use it. So it's this big, huge system that just had river water rusted out because it killed all the biofilm that had developed, and then rusted them pipes, just like dissolved them like acid. So that old rickety system has now got holes and leaks and gaps. You see them all over the city, fixing potholes and fixing broken water mains.
I think that's why they are bringing in PSI, is in part to locate some of the
lead lines.
Yeah, the worst
case scenarios.
so that they can maybe target those areas to fix them. But without huge amounts of federal help,
that's going
to be a difficult undertaking.
Definitely.
And that's what part of. You've heard the term calling for the Corps of Engineers, calling it a federal disaster. That turns out is a very complicated process. A lot of steps have to happen, a lot of things, and I think it's how it sounds is that's just what you tell people to calm them down about the water and the water pipe situation and what's good, because they were pumping it in like it's fine. Drinking it down, we drink it, you should too. And then the tests started coming back, and the independent companies. And I think the company PSI, what was said by the mayor is their level, EPA and MDEQ's level is right here at an 8 or whatever the passing levels are. They're going above that with a private company that will come out, dig up your pipes, and test your house and send it to a qualified laboratory for testing. So there's many different avenues out here for testing, and that's the city's plan, is to come out and test the worst case scenarios if your house has a lead line. So if you know you have a lead line, call the city, or if you want to get a test, call the city. They'll come test your house. But they said it was going to be a random testing.
Real quick too, you can call with questions about any of this City of Flint water plant. That's 810-787-6537. And the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services is 1-800-648-6942. So they will give you information regarding all of the things we're covering today. A question I have for you guys is, at the press conference when they talked about adding phosphates into the water, did they discuss the possible drawbacks from putting too much phosphorus into the water? Because
they didn't really discuss it. Yeah. Arthur Woodson asked, and she said that wasn't the time to talk about this information. This is a phosphate press conference only.
There is a website called healthylakehuron.com, which is where we draw our water from, or will be once KWA is set up. And I guess now, since we're on Detroit, that's also where it ultimately comes from. But it talks about there are risks to human safety. It's bad for the fish.
It's bad for the fish. It's what happened in Lake Erie was, because Lake Erie isn't as deep as Lake Huron, Lake Erie, the blooms, the algae blooms
Yeah.
grew on top, and that's what made their water. They had a water crisis, and remember in Ohio, wasn't it Ohio? They couldn't drink the water because the fungus grew too fast, and that's
Right.
what phosphorus does. It makes that fungus just grow. Biofilm on the pipes is basically fungus. It's any organism that doesn't like water, so they stick to the pipes and stay out of the water, and then in turn, the water just flows through that. Nothing. No touching the pipes, no rust, no lead.
So it would stand to reason then that they not only would have to test for lead, and obviously they're hoping that the phosphorus will create fungus and the lead levels come down, but then they should probably have to test to make sure there's not too much in the way of the fungus, the harmful algae blooms. And I don't know if they have a plan for doing that, but it seems like
That's
they
what I was
would, they would
thinking.
need.
Like, I hope so. When you start speaking like that, we're gonna have to bring this issue up seriously.
Yeah.
And also another source of information would be the Department of DEQ, the Michigan Department of Environmental Quality, and it's 810-787-6537, and they can give you any information on the testing and what will be happening in the near future. And that's the thing, it's going to be random, so people are just going to get calls.
And it seems, I mean, I think it seems like it's a good thing, but it's a complicated process,
Yes,
know.
it
And
is.
I'm glad they're opening up too, because at one point they would be shut and they wouldn't even tell us anything.
Yeah, they just
And now that
tested
they're opening
one
up, we
side.
don't need to really do too much attacking, but we need to come together. And then if we don't get some kind of resolution, then we stand up here and then we protest and we do our thing. I don't think we should just go all out right now.
Because at least there is
we're
attention
so used
on
to
our
going against a
water.
system that won't listen.
And in the
that
meantime,
we just want to protest at everything. And I do understand that because we're tired of this crap.
yeah.
But we do have to give this thing a chance because they are
Right.
opening up down there, and they
Yeah.
wasn't opening up like Natasha Henderson said. She said, "I'm not even used to doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't, this is a different forum. So we should be a little patient. We should work together.
Yeah.
And if things don't go, then we start doing
A little bit off topic. I think that was really encouraging. You heard about Mayor Weaver's town hall for a while, but the fact that Natasha Henderson was there with her, I thought was good. It was really good to see her show up because I didn't see ahead of time any announcement that she would be there. There's no reason she has to be. I don't imagine. So it's cool to see that
And
they're
she
together.
was speaking good. She
Yeah.
was speaking good. She was talking about coming down straight to City Hall, grants, and calling down there and asking your questions. So she's opening up, and she's more of the middle woman. So, she's just like Miss Weaver. She's a voice for whoever she is for, and we have to push back. However, we don't have to be so ugly now because we're starting to get a little more push.
Right. And that's the thing with the mayor's first town hall forum. It was an open forum with the people. A lot of people at the Hasselbring Center opened up and spoke about their individual problems. There's a lot of people
Some angry and concerned people.
there was some people and everybody had their opinions. People spoke, and it was a good forum to see Natasha Henderson and Karen Weaver, the police captain, Captain Golden, I believe was her name, Captain Golden, and they spoke about the information. One of the things they spoke about that I thought was very interesting is the police are going to be equipped with street smart software. That's where they can it scans through social media and things like that for nicknames, and they can link each other and say, I just was over at this guy's house, here he is, and link you up through your social media, which is going to help the city. If you want safety in your neighborhood, you're going to have to, that was one of the big themes, you're going to have to qualify for taking some matters into your own hands, calling the police, reporting, being responsible for your environment by reporting anything that's not, right and wrong. That's the bottom line.
Back the way it used to be when we cared for each other.
Just our as human beings, our living environment should be safe, and you should be able to walk around with your kids and have nice things.
Wave and say hi to your neighbor instead of coming out mean mugging.
And I think that has to reflect the attitude in the city between people. I try to when I'm on public, I try to smile. At least somebody is smiling, because you don't see a lot of smiles. That's
like
one
Miss May
thing.
said, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Yeah, Miss Mays was she was funny.
Eric May's mom popped up out of nowhere.
So it was a good town hall meeting, and The mayor's office is going to start the open door policy January 6th, I believe.
That's going to be nice.
You call, you sign up, and you can sit there until it's your turn to go talk with the mayor. And
you don't have to
and you
scream and
don't
shout
get as
outside of the mayor's
transparent
office
as
like
that. Town hall meetings, community policing. That's the city saying, let's be a part. Let's change it. If you want to change it, you have to be the change you want to see. Because if you're part of the problem, and you know you gotta go. You gotta go.
That's a guarantee.
You know, and the city's starting to come alive. People are being interested in things like if you look at small businesses around the city, different like Nice Beans Cafe and things like that. There's a nice little place. Have you ever been there to that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's nice little small businesses in the city that you can support, and each time you do that and come together and unite, this is our living environment.
And this is when we talk about unite.
Just like with this whole water situation, everyone who does any research or comes up with any information on the water becomes part of the team, or films it, whatever you have to offer, just be a part of it. The bigger the sound we make about clean water for communities, environments, the more people we make noise, the louder we reach.
Yes, it's not just about one individual person.
And we can come together. So if you have any information, just share it gladly. Like and share everybody's page equally.
And
don't
I like to
hold
talk about
nobody back.
the community thing that we should do. We should do some community meetings with not just the water warriors. We should do it with some residents of Flint that's willing to work with us. And we should come together like the concerned pastors. I like the way they stick together. And we should come together and we should have one person to speak for the group and all of us put our input in. It won't be Leroy Jackson's page got this. It won't be Arthur Woods or Melissa Mays or none of that. It should be all of us. We should do this together, and this is the serious truth. It's got to be a unity thing because we keep popping up.
Yes.
One at a time, they're not going to listen to us. We got to do it as a unity project, my people.
Yes, we do.
And I love y'all, seriously.
And coming together, like and share #Flint, like and share the website as well as the Facebook page, Leroy Jackson, Shayne Hodges, Tim Gilbreth, and that's the whole point of this whole project is to bring everyone together, educate, and inform. Thank you. Have a great day. That'll do it. All right.
What's up,
Hey man, we're taking. You can't come in and wave to us while we're taping. No, it's all good.
We got another.
No, I don't see.